What is needed, rather than running away or controlling or suppressing or any other resistance, is understanding fear. That means, watch it, learn about it, come directly into contact with it. We are to learn about fear, not how to escape from it. You cannot escape the results of your thoughts. Whatever your present environment may be, you will fall, remain or rise with your thoughts, your vision, your ideal. You will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. For one thing, I would like to see some new faces in all sports associations. Often you have the same people controlling a sport. They may change their designations or they may be controlling affairs from behind the curtain even when they don't have any role officially. It's almost as if we each have a vampire inside us. Controlling that beast, that dark side, is what fascinates me. The very existence of government at all infers inequality. The citizen who is preferred to office becomes the superior to those who are not, so long as he is the repository of power. And the child inherits the wealth of the parent as a controlling law of society. When the yogi starts to meditate, he must leave behind all sensory thoughts and all longings for possessions by quieting the waves of feeling, chit, and the mental restlessness that arises therefrom, through the application of techniques that reinstate the controlling power of the untrammeled superconsciousness of the soul. For me, it's about controlling what I can control. I can't control where I'm going to be put on the pitch. I can only control my effort and my ability to embrace anything thrown at me. One of the strengths of Adani is that, because we are controlling mines, ships, ports and logistics, we are the cheapest solution provider for end users. Football is a simple game based on the giving and taking of passes, of controlling the ball and of making yourself available to receive a pass. It is terribly simple. I'm not jealous, and I'm not possessive, and I'm not controlling. One of the really remarkably beneficial aspects of genetic engineering is that much of the previous methodology for controlling pests and so forth is through chemicals that affect a very broad spectrum of insects, for example, or fungicides that control fungi. Everywhere I travel throughout eastern Washington, I hear from people demanding we do a better job of controlling our borders and reducing illegal immigration. My art is not limited to the songs I create but also to the reaction it creates. I like to sit back and look at the whole thing as if it's a tornado that I'm controlling. It's creating chaos. When you create chaos, ideas are turned upside down, and everybody looks at things in a different way. President Obama's biggest advocates believe that Americans are ready to embrace his vision for the United States, a less muscular America on the world stage, an America with a more controlling executive branch and less conflict in the legislative branch, an America in which the government takes care of us, be we pajama boys or Julius. We have never believed that any potential future benefits from fracking make it acceptable for the government to bulldoze over the concerns of local communities or the very real environmental dangers that can occur as a result of weak safeguards controlling the technical process. The term alpha-female originated in my field of animal behavior, but has acquired new meaning. It refers to women who are in charge, for example, by flirting and dating on their own terms. It is also used maliciously for a loud-mouthed, controlling woman who has no patience with deviating opinions. The directing of a picture involves coming out of your individual loneliness and taking a controlling part in putting together a small world. A picture is made, you put a frame around it and move on, and one day you die. That is all there is to it. It will, of course, be understood that directly or indirectly, soon or late, every advance in the sciences of human nature will contribute to our success in controlling human nature and changing it to the advantage of the common weal. A man should control his life. Mine is controlling me. When you become a parent, or a teacher, you turn into a manager of this whole system. You become the person controlling the bubble of innocence around a child, regulating it. Anyone who seeks to destroy the passions instead of controlling them is trying to play the angel. Gun control means control. It means control for the government, and the government starts controlling the people. Business is fun. Controlling your own destiny is fun. Creating an idea and turning it into a movie, finding an artist and guiding their career and bringing them to some type of status, there's joy in that. If we go on your iPhone and go to the dictionary and look up humble, 80% of the definition is negative. It's a controlling word. It's a way to control the masses and to control the sheep. I felt in a lot of instances I was deliberately being put through stress because when you're a guy who generates money, people have a vested interest in controlling you. I am not naturally that thin, so I had to go through everything from using drugs to diet pills to laxatives to fasting. Those were my main ways of controlling my weight. When you have solved the problem of controlling the attention of the child, you have solved the entire problem of its education. Politics is the art of controlling your environment. A leader who is confused or confusing causes too much anxiety, and a leader who is too controlling is revealing more insecurity and a lack of leadership. Widespread use of antibiotics promotes the spread of antibiotic resistance. Smart use of antibiotics is the key to controlling its spread. A pool at the edge of the ocean is the simplest geometry, yet you feel connected to the sea. In a forest with the mountains in the background, you also feel the connection to nature, yet it's a very complex geometry. I think architecture is about controlling these feelings. In medicine as well as in romantic poetry, it is the heart that is the center and controlling mechanics of life. If the heart stops, life stops. The loss of sight doesn't not mean death. Yet for ages, the eyes was believed to contain a human being's vital essence, a not wholly irrational belief. You are controlling because I want you to do it, not because of the situation or what needs to be done. I believe in the potential of all things possibly imagined that can be made into a reality. My uncle was a Swedish scientist, and in the 1970s, he would speak of computers controlling most things in the future and self-driving cars and wireless communication. All the things that we are living with now. In America the schools have become too permissive, the kids now are controlling the schools, the tail is wagging the dog. We've got to make a change there and get it back to where the teachers have control of the classrooms. My dad was really controlling and he did want me to skate every single day. I would say he did it in a little bit of a strict way, which probably wasn't necessary because bottom line I loved skateboarding and that's all I wanted to do anyway. We are estranged from our own deeper physiology because we are no longer in contact with nature. Instead, we are controlling nature with air pollution, heating, technology. But you have to know you have a depth within yourself which needs to be stimulated. If it doesn't get stimulated it becomes weaker, like a muscle that's not being used anymore. Control and surrender have to be kept in balance. That's what surfers do, take control of the situation, then be carried, then take control. In the last few thousand years, we've become incredibly adept technically. We've treasured the controlling part of ourselves and neglected the surrendering part. I'm controlling over anything I create. I'm very precious about it. We can escape the commonplace only by manipulating it, controlling it, thrusting it into our dreams or surrendering it to the free play of our subjectivity. Juggling is sometimes called the art of controlling patterns in time and space. Why can't women get along? Because we're afraid. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to be soft. We're afraid to be hurt. But most of all, we're afraid of our power. So we become controlling and aggressive and vicious. Success is usually the culmination of controlling failure. When you're good at controlling your own emotions, you can disguise your true feelings. When you know what others are feeling, you can tug at their heartstrings and motivate them to act against their own best interests. The important thing to remember with the internet is that there are large companies that have an interest in controlling how information flows in it. They're very effective at lobbying Congress, and that pattern has locked down other communication media in the past. And it will happen again unless we do something about it. I'm controlling, and I want everything orderly, and I need lists. My mind goes a mile a minute. I'm difficult on every single level. Reason is a harmonizing, controlling force rather than a creative one. You can't be controlling in improv. It must be possible to solve the task of controlling nature and yet simultaneously create a new freedom. I'm living on this positive mind frame where I'm only attracting positive things. I'm controlling my energy, I'm eating right, I'm meditating, I'm in the gym, I'm doing all this stuff I'm supposed to be doing. I'm past that young, immature way of thinking. I just want to be great. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.